Well, all right, here we are, FlanClan. We have another exciting alumni series, and of course, who you see right in front of me, or right next to me here, is Dr. Matt Delgado. Matt, you graduated what, about a year ago, a little more than a year ago?
December 9th was exactly a
About a
year.
year ago,
So,
yeah. So fantastic. So Matt's going to tell you a little bit about his story, where he's been, his ups and downs, his wins, his losses, all of the stuff that has happened in the past year. And Matt, it's been an eventful year, right?
There's been a lot that's happened. I've been all over the place. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, you left the Bay Area, and
Yeah.
bring us up to speed.
So let's see. I graduated, like I said, December 9th a year ago. And after graduation, I took a month off just to travel. I went to Italy with some family for about a month. And then I jumped right into an associate position in Omaha, Nebraska. Now, I don't know if you remember, you're actually the one that set me up with
Very much remember.
Lyle. His name's Lyle Kocha. For those of you that don't know him, the dude's crazy in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
He's a legend. He's a living legend. Like, I learned so much from the guy. He's so passionate. He's so inspiring. I guess long story short with that, though, maybe we can get in more if you have questions about it too, but I worked with him alongside him for about 3 months. It was an amazing experience. It was also the most challenging thing probably that I've ever experienced, way more than school. I was working about 75 hours a week. I was building a practice within his practice, but I was pretty much doing all of the day one and day two, which in that office was all the new patient exam, x-ray, report of findings. So no matter whose patient it was, I would do the day one, day two. And then alongside that, I was building my own practice, doing marketing, networking groups, health talks in the community to grow my own practice. And I was growing it, and it was going really well. But I just wasn't happy. I found out that a huge clinic like that, it was about 1,800 people a week is what we were saying. It was too big for me. And I was burnt out already in 3 months after school and then, doing that 75-hour thing a week. So I told him, I can't do this anymore. Can I scale back my hours? He said, I don't think that's going to work. So I said, all right, I'm gone. So I took 6 months off to kind of regain my health and just get balanced again in life. And then after 6 months, I already knew that I was going to be in Austin, Texas, even before going to Nebraska.
Right.
So I just used that time to kind of plan and find the right spot for me in Austin. I went back and forth between, do I want to be an associate again? Do I want to be an independent contractor? Do I want to open my own practice? I had no idea. So I used that 6 months to kind of handle the logistics and find the right place for me. And I ended up in Austin the last week of October, and it is the best fucking thing that I've ever done. Sorry for the language, but it's incredible. I love where I'm at. I love what I'm doing. I have the best life in the world for me, and it's great. It's phenomenal.
Yay. That's fantastic. So now you mentioned that you were seeing all of the day ones and day twos for not only yourself in Lyle's practice. Let's go back to that a second. But there were 4 of you doctors there. Is that correct?
4 including me. I was the 4th.
Mm-hmm. So you were doing all of their day ones and day twos as well?
Yeah, and the thing was, he would say, so it was mostly a referral-based practice. I learned a lot about that, and it was kind of like hush-hush, we have this great system. Maybe don't tell everyone, but I don't care. I think everyone should be successful. Ask away, or I'm free to share, anything we did or what we do in that office. I think because there's a lot of ways to ask for referrals, but we would, and I didn't know how to before this, so we would basically give people the opportunity to refer. And any referrals that would come in based on an exam that I did, they would see me. So what I mean by that too with the referral thing, we would give people, and I do this in my office today too, I'd make a little certificate. It's called a gift of health. And any friends, family, or loved ones in the next 2 weeks, this certificate is good for their first day it's on me.
Mm-hmm.
It's never free. It's on me. So, or it's complimentary. So, instead of $300, $250, whatever you're charging for all this X-rays, everything included, we would do that. And yeah, you're giving a lot away up front, but in the long run, it would pay off, and we get a lot of referrals.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always been one about not having any barriers to people getting access to what it is that we do. And so free exams, and I know there's some controversy, among some people in the profession. Why would we discount? Well, we discount because we want people to have access to it, in my opinion. And,
yeah, absolutely.
And then it's our responsibility and our job to educate them and let them know, here's where you're at, here's what your spine is looking like, and then sell them, if you will, on great health, great opportunity for abundant health in their life. So, yeah, that's really good. So, you mentioned that as a referral and that you're using it in your practice these days. So, well, tell us a little bit about that. You got to Austin in October. When did you open up? Give us some stats on how you're doing now. It's not been very long, but where are you at?
Yeah, so when I first got here, I was going to use my first week to go to every networking event that I could, to just bust my ass, get going right away. I realized I guess I need to settle in a city before I get going. So I used my first week to get settled, and immediately after that, I went all out blitz, and I just, like I said, I went to every free networking event in town that I could, just trying to meet as many people as I can, and I still do. That's my best advice, I think, in the beginning too. They say your network determines your net worth, and just getting to know as many people as possible. So I've done that, and results speak for themselves. I'm really good at what I do. I think Life West prepares us all to be really good at what we do, and you're going to get referrals just from that alone. But if you have a system in place to give people the opportunity to refer, it's that much better. So during re-exams as well, progress exams, when you show people, that's retelling them their story. They want to know their story. This is what Lyle always told me. The progress exam is you're repainting the picture. I re-show them their x-ray. I remind them why we're doing what we're doing, why their frequency of care is what it's at, and the amazing results that they've seen so far. And whether they feel it or not, I show them the objective things. Look at your range of motion, how it's improved. What does that mean? Look at your posture, how it's improved. What does that mean? And get them excited, and then give them that way to refer. And I had someone this last week who she's like, yes, you gave me this gift of health. I was hoping something like that would happen. My husband wants to come in. So
perfect.
Yeah.
So what are you give us the kind of model of practice that you're in right now. Are you doing all cash? Is it some insurance, some cash? Where are you at? What are you doing?
I'm mostly cash.
Okay.
95% cash. I'm in network with Blue Cross. They pay pretty well. Insurance is a big game. It's pretty, I've found out from a lot of colleagues too. People are fraudulently billing for pretty much everything across the board from almost everyone I talk to. So I don't want to play that game.
No.
So I'm mostly cash. I do deal with Blue Cross. I do personal injury. I've got two personal injury cases right now. That's a thing I can touch on too. That was a big referral thing that I just set up for the future. And then, so I give people a super bill to give to their insurance to get reimbursed, and that's that. And my rates are my rates, but I have a cash plan in place to save them money, because if they're not using their insurance, you got to give them a way to save money too. Right. So I give them, if they pay up front for whatever care I recommend, they get 20% off. If they pay monthly for whatever care I recommend, they get 10% off. Or they can pay per visit. And I give kids, if the parents are under care, kids are half off. I have a passion and big heart for kids, so I make it accessible for them.
Right on. Yeah.
And I don't take Medicare either. I'm not in network with Medicare. I don't do any of that. But if they really need a discount on it, I'll give them half off.
Don't say that. We're not supposed to do that, bro. No discounts for Medicare at all.
No, I don't do that. You didn't do that. I think about giving them half off, but I don't actually do that.
All right. So So you mentioned your network is your net worth, and I definitely agree. That is the biggest way to build business, without a doubt. And it's oftentimes a slower way to grow, just because it takes time for those relationships to build and trust to be gained, and people to have the faith in you that to come and see you. What else have you done? Have you done any talks? Have you done screenings? Have you done any internet or website or any online marketing at all? What other ways have you done to promote your business?
I did like a paper flyer. It turned out really well, and I printed it out and I just handed it out all over town with a discounted first rate. Mm-hmm. I got a couple from that. Same with the gym across the street. I made good friends with one of the guys in there. Kind of that relationship's kind of dwindled a little bit, but I got a few referrals from him. And I done some Facebook stuff. I boosted a few posts. I'm pretty consistent on Facebook with at least one post a day. And I got a family of 3 that came in because they saw me on Facebook. They saw that I take care of kids through Facebook, so they came in. So, I mean, you never know. So just spreading, I think, everywhere you can. And Instagram is my new thing that I'm building. I got a couple of different things going with that, and really it's just to get in front of as many people as you can. A networking group that I joined, it was really expensive. I bartered for my membership, so up front that was like $400. It was $300 initiation, $150 a month, so $450. And then it's like $200 annual fee, and of course it's December, so they charge you in December. So I'm over $700 in the hole with this networking group, and I've seen nothing from it in the 2 months. It's a long-term approach. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm going to stay in it. It's all dinosaurs. It's all older people, and their way of thinking is so different than this new millennial crowd that I'm finding I really vibe with and I'm really networking well with, and meeting people better through new technology. Like, there's apps out there. My friend that I met with yesterday in town just told me about one. Let me see if I can find it. I can't remember what it's called. It's for networking. It's great. And Instagram. I've direct messaged people on Instagram, top people in different industries, and met up with them, or just call them or email them, and they're willing to meet. So that's been my best way, is just kind of spreading it out all over. Health talks are hard this time of year. Yeah. I've given one so far. It was good success. And I did 2 screenings. Again, it's not really screening time, but both times I did screenings, I got patients that came in, and both patients have referred people. So they've been a success.
Gotcha. So, you're right that this time of the year is not the best time to open a practice by any means, but you do what you got to do, right?
I was advised by multiple people, multiple family members, multiple loved ones, to not open a practice right now.
Yeah, it's very difficult this time of the year. But hey, if anyone can do it, it's you, brother.
I did it, and I'm doing it. I can and will watch me.
Yeah. So what has been the best use of money for you? What have you invested in that has really paid off the best so far?
Yeah. I was thinking about that. You told me that, and I thought about it. There's not really one thing I can think of that I spent. I mean, I guess investing in my business overall, generally, with forms, education tools. I found my passion is really in education. So educating patients is my favorite. I love it. I could talk about what's and whys all day. I love it. So any tools with that, different forms that I found, whether I have to pay for them, that's okay. Like, if I'm investing in forms to give people, to educate them, that'll plant more of a long-term seed, then that's worth it to me. So I'd say that, and technology for the office. I'm trying to get a subluxation station in pretty soon. I don't have one yet, but I want one.
Gotcha. And on the other side of that, what about money that was not well spent?
Yeah. So far, that networking group I told you about, I talked to someone else in it as well. It's all people that have been in Austin a really long time, an older crowd. I'm by far the youngest in the crowd. And networking groups can be really hit or miss from a lot of people that I've talked to.
Yeah.
For me, it's been a big miss, I think. It's a long-term thing. It's hard to judge it off of 2 months being in it.
For sure.
But that's been $700 that, especially in the beginning, in retrospect, there's no way I should have spent that money yet.
Yeah. And notably because it's what you mentioned, it's not your target market. It's not the demographic that you want to serve.
Yeah, not at all.
So, and especially you probably joined November, December, which are, again, horrible months for tons of patient attraction. So, hey, we all
half
make
the
those
meetings
mistakes.
were canceled, but we still pay the same rate. Go figure. So, I don't know.
And that's a really good note, I think, to make to the people that are watching this, is that if you have the opportunity to join a networking group, by all means do. However, before you put in the big bucks, you might want to visit a few times.
Yes.
And almost all these networking groups have, you can come and once or twice or even a few times, so that you can kind of get the vibe of the place. Yep. And then if it's your target market, if it allows access to people who are going to refer to you and are in your demographic, then by all means, it's probably a really good opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing that you probably won't get new patients from that group immediately. But it's going to be one of those long-term approaches.
Yeah.
My wife, Christina, has been in a BNI chapter since she started here 3 years ago. And it's huge for us. Absolutely huge. Tons and tons of referrals from it, lots and lots of money from it. But interestingly enough, the group of kind of her aligned people, especially the massage therapist that's in the group, has not referred one patient. 3 years has not referred one patient to her. It's all the other people, interestingly.
That's funny. Speaking of that, before I forget, I didn't have anything written about this, but my massage therapists, both of them in the office that we've got, are walking billboards for me. Oh. Don't be afraid to exchange service for service, or just don't be afraid in the beginning to show someone what you can do, to have them be a walking billboard. I found that's been huge. I did it with a few people. The massage therapist, she's in the office, so we trade. I get a weekly 90-minute massage, and I adjust her. It takes me 2 minutes to adjust her.
Right.
So I figure, we won't keep track of it. It's cool, whatever. Price-wise, because I'm adjusting her multiple times a week, so I'm giving her more expense than she's giving me.
Sure.
So I've changed her life drastically, and the little bit I've been working with her, so she's telling everybody. And I've gotten probably close to 10 referrals from her.
Awesome.
This last month because of that. She's a walking billboard.
That's fantastic. I mean,
yeah.
that's huge advice. Speaking of advice, there's a lot of people watching this. I hope a lot of people watching this, at least FlanClan peeps.
I shouldn't be swearing then. I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck that. Come on, dude. You know how we roll.
Okay. We're rule breakers. That's okay.
So, what advice would you give to people? Let's say that you just got drafted and you've got a year to go in school. What advice would you give people on how do you finish up that last year? And then what do you do to prepare for beyond school?
Yeah, great question. So there was something, I hate when people give vague or general answers, because you're like, oh, come on, well, what do I do? So I have a vague general answer, and then I've got a few action steps.
Perfect.
For you all too. So my vague general answer, that's the most important thing, get inspired. Because throughout the school process, students that you're watching this, whether you realize it or not, you have the life sucked out of you a little bit. I remember when I came in first quarter, I was so excited, but I noticed I lived with upper quarter students that were 2 quarters from graduating, and they were just bitter on life in general. No matter how positive of a person you are, you, a little bit to some degree, you get the life sucked out of you. So get inspired, whatever that is for you. However you do that, whether it's hanging out with badass chiropractors, that's what it was for me. get inspired, because that makes a difference. I want to read a text that I went into this summer when I took some time off. I went into an office. I didn't know this woman. She was a chiropractor of about 30 years and started hanging out in her office. I had her adjusting me, and we became friends, and we'd go on walks and we'd go to lunch. And she sent me this text since I've been here in Austin, and I was blown away when she sent me this. We were texting back and forth, and she says this. She says, "I did an ROF today. The patient said she liked my passion for the wonderful world of chiropractic. I told her it was because of you. I had lost my way, and then you came into my practice." Holy shit. I'm like, I don't know anything about anything. I'm 1 year out, and I changed her life. She's changed mine also. You never know. But that passion will just ignite someone when you're around them. And every day, like, people feel it. People love it. The network I've made, the reason that they're attracted to me and I'm attracted to them, their passion for what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So action steps too that you can do as students. I think best things you can do. Number one, start a Facebook page and an Instagram page and get a following. Get people to follow your page. It doesn't matter where they are, but you can always change the name of it later. You can change the location, whatever. Find some good pages that you like and copy what they're doing. So a really good one, Boris Chichuk at Life Within Chiropractic, his Facebook page, he just made a new video not too long ago. It's really good. Check his Facebook page out. And then Instagram too. Find some people on Instagram. You can look at mine if you want. It's not great. It's not perfect, but it's growing pretty quick.
Things on there. Mm-hmm.
LifeSpring Chiropractic, if you want to check it out. And copy anything that I have on there. Like, make it your own. Copy it. That's what it's there for. Everything's recycled. Nothing's new at this point. Get testimonials. That's huge. Testimonials are huge. So in clinic, when you have a good experience with a patient, ask them to do a testimonial. Just say, "Hey, Miss Jones, this will really help me out. Can you just take 2 minutes to leave me a Facebook testimonial?"
Awesome.
They'll do it. 100%. They'll do it. And again, later on, you can change your Facebook page from so-and-so intern to the name of your practice or whatever. Right. So start getting those testimonials now. It'll really help you down the road.
I love it.
And then I think I recommend this book to everyone, but especially students. Start with Why by Simon Sinek. We all want to tell people what we do. Nobody gives a shit. They care why we do it. That when I worked with Lyle Kocha, that's the first book he had me read, was Start with Why. And nobody wants to hear all about what you can do with this and this and that. Everyone's selling their what when you go to a networking group too. Yeah. When you sell your why, you're different. People are attracted to you. They want to be around you. They don't care what you're selling. They're totally in on it.
Right. So
that book was huge for me, and I'd highly recommend it. Start with Why.
Awesome.
That's all I got.
So, one more, well, maybe a few more questions. You said that you were working about 75 hours a week with Lyle.
Yeah.
Where are you at now?
Oh, man. It's different now. I got to say that because I'm doing it for myself. I'm a workaholic. I found a way to add in my own health routine, which this last week I completely skipped. But, Thursdays are my personal day. Thursday mornings. I go to the gym, I get a 90-minute massage, and I get adjusted every Thursday morning. Tuesday morning, same thing. I go to the gym before I go to meetings. Saturday and Sunday, I do some kind of yoga or hike or whatever. So I've built in my things that I wasn't able to do in Nebraska. But I'd say I work just as much or more than I did in Nebraska. I mean, I'm working 12-hour days at least Monday through Friday. Yeah. So
sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean it's long hours when you start a practice. So maybe not 70, but maybe 60 or maybe 55 is probably more honest.
It's a lot. I think that's one of the things that is not foreseen after graduation is just the amount of time and effort that it takes to really build the practice that you want. It takes a lot of hard-ass work. A lot of it.
I guess with all factors added in, like things I'm doing on social media, but that I do from my house or wherever, that it still work, it's probably more than 70 hours a week, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
That's all I do is work.
Yeah.
My people ask me, how do you make friends, or what do you do anything for fun? No, not really.
I mean, you could look at it as what you are doing is fun.
I love it. And I'm making friends through my network of professionals, so it's cool.
But the thing that you have to watch out for, and I'll give you this advice, is to make sure that you don't get burned out, because sustaining 70+ hour weeks every week after week after week for months is just not sustainable. You can't do it. And so that's one thing that we've realized with Christina as well, is that she is an incredible workaholic and is nuts. How much she works is crazy to me. But we've also built in now vacation scheduling, so that every so often she gets a break. And it's really important to get that recharge so that you can come back ready to go again. So I agree. Thanks for that too. I always need a reminder of that, so thanks for keeping me level. Yeah, I mean, it's really good to see that you're shining, brother. That I know there were some dark days when you were trying to figure out what you were doing with Lyle and that crazy ass work schedule. But you're right, the guy is crazy, but he is a legend. And
with that too, I learned so much from him. There were a few things that I learned from him that I wrote down that I wanted to share, because he was so amazing. I have the goosebumps talking about him, because he was so inspiring and he's such a legend. And he challenged me like I've never been challenged in life. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it was invaluable with the things I learned. Some of the big takeaways: you need a good system if you want to see a lot of people. I think even if you don't see a lot of people, a good system is good. To see as many people as we did, we did the same steps, same routine with everyone. We role played, so we knew what we did on our day one, what we did on our day two. Figure out what you want to do. And that's something maybe students now think about. What do you want your day one to look like? Are you going to adjust someone on the first day? What do you want your day two to look like? What are you going to go over when you report a findings? Start playing with it. There's no right answer. Everyone's got the right answer, and they're all selling it for a bunch of money. Right. Guess what? You can figure it out without all that. One other thing that I learned from Lyle was stay in your lane. He always used to say that, stay in your lane, chiropractors. Yep. Because, the more that I've started networking with other professions, the more I realized how much everyone is doing. Your grocery store clerk is a nutrition expert now. Right. People get an online certification in nutrition over a weekend, and they're a holistic nutrition certified expert. Right. And they don't know shit about nutrition. Yeah. But what's stopping, but they're still giving people this advice. Whatever, let them do it. Mm-hmm. And same with, I just went to a Graston seminar, not really by choice. It was paid for by the other doc in the office, so I wasn't going to turn it down. But 95% of the people there were not chiropractors. It was all PTs, massage therapists. And guess what? If they're doing that every day, they're really good at it. They're way better than you are, chiropractors. Yep. So what are we good at? Adjusting. There's nobody that can even get close to me when it comes to that. Any PT, and PTs are manipulating now. I've got some friends that are PTs. Sure. And that's where they're moving, depending on the state you're in, especially California. Mm-hmm. If you're staying in California, PTs in that state are all manipulating. Yep. Or they're adjusting, they're doing the anterior dorsals. Mm-hmm. They do a roll for like a lumbar move, yep. and it works. Yep. But they're not, they're not like we are. Right. So just think about that. I'm not telling you don't do nutrition or don't do Graston, but there's 50 people down the street that are in other professions that are doing that too. And as soon as you start talking about nutrition, your patients could care less about the nervous system, So absolutely. I'm the nervous system guy. When they come into my office, that's all I talk about. I'm obsessed with it. Yeah. And they know that's what I work with. Awesome. Well, that's great advice, Matt. Thank you so much. Any last words, any last things that you want to share with us before we go? Nothing I can think of. Have fun in your process, everyone. I missed my colleagues so much after graduation. I still keep in touch with a bunch, including you, B-Flan. Yep. but yeah, just enjoy the process. And I hope to see everyone soon. I'm filling out a seminar request form, so sometime in this next year, hopefully, I'll be coming back to speak.
Awesome! Yeah, that seminar.
If the students want me, so it's their choice, and rightfully so. So we'll see.
Sounds great, brother. I hope that happens, and that I get to see you in person, give you a big hug, and thank you so much, Matt, for being with us today. Love you tons, brother. Glad that you're kicking it. Let me know if you ever need anything, and I don't know, just keep having fun.
Yeah, likewise. My pleasure. My pleasure. Good talking with you.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Okay, you too. See ya.